With no less than 7% attack up, 15% slashing attack, and 25% man-eater, Odin doesn't have to compensate for anything. He truly does rise above the competition. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to House Guys. I'm your host, Norgoz, and today we are talking War of the Visions. We're talking global, and we're talking Odin because he has arrived. He is coming after maintenance tonight. Maintenance should start around 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, according to our notice here. And beginning tomorrow, after reset, you can start pulling for Odin yourself. So we're going to talk a little bit about why he's so great, why he's arguably the best Esper, and why you should at least consider pulling for him. If you like videos like this, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and come back and see us again. We'll be doing a series of videos covering War of the Visions, including a lot of various things, including maximizing potential in Orlando, vision cards not to sleep on. But today we're talking about Odin, so let's get into that right now. Here we are. Our notification for Odin is right here in War of the Visions. He does boost Man-Eater on his Vision card, so when you pull the Vision card, you do get the Esper for free initially, and the Esper is really what you're wanting to get. The Vision card, however, is still very, very solid for what it does give. It is a selfish buff. I call it selfish buff. It's a bestowed effect of boost Man-Eater, so the self buff of Man-Eater goes from 2% at base to 10% at max level, and unit attack resistance up. I believe that's 5% initially, and then it's 20% at max. Now, the verbiage on this is a little bit different in global than it is in JP. In JP, it's listed as a single attack resistance up. Meaning, essentially, as I understand it, it's the initial attack, a single attack or initial attack will be mitigated by that value of 20, which is a 20%, which would mean 20% mitigation effectively for the entire party. So that is going to be a very, very, very solid thing for PvE or PvP to have with you, even as the Vision card. Now, his Esper does have some really, really impressive stats, and we'll get to more of the specifics later. But right now, we've got the evocation magic details. Zantetsuken evokes Odin, deals non-elemental damage max to targets within. It's the max attack range to targets and to targets within range. It activates temporary map effects, raises allies' critical hit rate. So this is going to be a great evocation magic for any unit that has high crit rate already or has a +2 critical damage. So crit rate is going to be when you actually crit, and your crit damage, like with Stern or Gafgarian, those are going to be a plus to the actual raw damage that you deal. Also good with like a Yerma, who has already has a pretty decent crit rate and does extra crit damage as well. So that is a very, very solid evocation magic to have and utilize if you get that opportunity. I know not everybody does that because you'll clear out all the stuff really, really quickly. But when you have that opportunity and utilizing everything to get that, that's going to be pretty helpful later on down the line in like the deep dungeons. So, greetings from Afar. This was originally, I believe, this was a special seasonal card. But as you've seen before, we had another seasonal card. The Frederica card got dropped. This one's getting dropped now for us. There's a different timeline for when JP was released and when Global was released, so they're not following everything exactly. This is a selfish card of Magic Up. It goes to a maximum of 20% of both Magic Up and Aquatic Killer 20% for the party. So that's going to be really good if you're going up against aquatic monsters. And it's a selfish buff of magic attack up of 20%. That's still pretty good. I'm a big advocate for selfish cards because you can build around that card and you can get more value out of that card often than what you can from others that may have similar raw stats or different stats that may add up to similar damage but not quite as much. We'll talk about that in a separate video, and I'll tell you about some rare cards, some just basic R cards that you don't want to sleep on. So make sure you subscribe, come back for that, and thumbs up and all that good stuff. So moving on, we have the Beast Den. They're going to add in Odin's Battle. I really do like these. I've cleared the majority of them, and even though it says the recommended level of like 60, 70, of kind of a general rule like that I go by is as long as your units are within about 20 levels of that, then you're usually pretty good. So if it's 50, about 10. If it's beyond that, you can maybe do it at 40 or 50. So that's about how I've done it, and they're not really all that terribly difficult. But they're really, really fun to do, and of course they're beneficial. Once you clear all of the challenges on those levels, you get everything you need to awaken them. So also, when you awaken an Esper, it is actually easier to level them up. It takes less experience than it did to get them to 50. Believe it or not, we'll talk about that another time. 25% Vision Ores, or 25%, 2,500 Vision Ore we're getting for free just for logging in. It is a 5-day time frame from the 13th to the 19th, and it's a 5-day login bonus. Make sure, right? Make sure that you're logging in every single day. You don't want to miss one. You've got roughly 5-6 days to actually get in here and do that. You don't want to miss out on that free Vision Ore. Double up experience on the story up campaign. On the story campaign, we're getting some more stories, so we'll get some more Vision Ore and stuff like that from the rewards. And now the purchase shop is changing from Ketone shards to Whisper shards. I'm a big Whisper fan. I didn't pull for her. I was waiting for Odin, but I am a big fan of Whisper because she has such high damage resistance. 25% across the board, 30% with her mastery. Really, really good unit. We'll talk about her separately. But she's definitely going to be that's definitely going to be valuable to get just for logging in, and or if you're going to be actually spending money on the game, $1 here, $1 there. These step ups on the purchasing is going to be beneficial to those of you that have Whisper and are really trying to get her leveled up pretty quickly. All right, now let's get to the nitty gritty of the video here. Let's talk about Odin's stats, what he starts with, what he gets to, and why it is that he's just so fantastic. There is another event coming out similar to the equipment event that's happened before. I do recommend taking a look at those because that's going to get you a lot of things that you can farm for and quests and whatnot. Hopefully they're going to put the vision card materials back in there as well, and I'll follow up on that at another time. Odin's stats, both starting and at max level, are some of the best stats of all the Espers. Both initially and at max level, his agility is the highest. At level 1, it's 12. That's the highest initial agility. And at level 9, maxed out, 2-star, 99, you're looking at 19 or 80 or whatever. You've got 19 agility. 19 agility. That is insane. Ifrit, I think, is the next one in line after that. I could be wrong, but it's he's sitting around 14. That's a huge deal right there. 19 agility, that's crazy. What would you do with the extra 5 agility? What would you do for a Klondike Bar? So stats at max value, we're looking at 823, TP 37, AP of 40, which is 1 more point of AP than what a Freet will grant you. And if you're comparing it to Behemoth, you're getting 11 more AP initially than Behemoth card will give you at maxed out level. You're getting a decent amount of dexterity as well as luck. 55 dexterity, 62 luck, and 80 attack. So you do get more attack from another Esper in the game later on, but right now, what the main focus on Odin is going to be his secondary abilities, his tree abilities, and this is where the real damage comes into play. He's fantastic for any slashing unit that you have, any attacking unit that you have, and even if you don't use a raw physical attacker, you can still benefit from the Man-Eater and the high agility on this card. And because it has very high HP, it can also help with your survivability. So you could throw this on a Mediana or a caster that you may be working on now or looking to pull in the future. It's going to benefit everyone in the game, for at least for PvP and for, I would say, the majority of, or a lot of PvE content, because a lot of things that you fight in PvE are also going to be humanoid characters. So with this, and of course good for the deep dungeon later on, with this, you get, again, 7% attack, 15% slashing attack, 25% Man-Eater. On top of that, you get slashing resistance. You get, as it says, shooting resistance. That's missile resistance, ranged attacks. So you get ranged attack resistance, and you get bird killer on top of it. So you're going up against those big zoos, those zoo monsters, or eventually, if we ever get Phoenix, that might be beneficial there. So This is an insanely powerful grid, an insanely powerful card. Lots of really good things, you know, both offensively and defensively for this card because slashing is the meta right now. We know that. So moving right along here, again, initial effect of Man Killer 2 maxes out at 10, single attack resistance of 5, max of 20. Vision card, these stats I'm sure are available somewhere, but we don't really have a lot of really good online resources. So until it pops up in the game and we actually see the max stats, I'm not going to have a very good reference for that. Looking at the 3-star, it's around 126 attack. Based on the numbers, I would say he's probably going to be somewhere around 140 attack at max level 99, 4 stars. Again, 10 Maneater, 20 attack resistance. The Greetings from Afar, just to give you guys the numbers so you can see it. Again, 20% attack, magic attack up, 20 aquatic killer. Very, very good numbers there for that card as well. If you're interested in boosting your magic attack users, especially if you're trying to get have a nice magic selfish card to have, because if you have the Trousseau card and you have magic attack up as a party buff, this is going to stack with that. If you're using the little Leela card, has magic attack up on it, that's even an SR card. It's not even an MR card. Plus magic attack across the board. You know, or a remove card. You know, UR card, you got your remove card. This is going to stack with that because this is a selfish buff, not a party buff. It's going to stack with it. So you can get your magic attack extremely high, have another unit put out a magic attack plus party buff on, and you have got a seriously strong magic caster that's going to be dishing out a ton of damage. So don't sleep on these selfish cards, I'm telling you. And we're going to talk about that more in another video. But that's going to just about wrap it up for this video, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been my pleasure to provide this information to you guys. You're all fantastic individuals. Make sure to throw us a thumbs up. It really does help. It really does help out. When I know that you've heard everybody say this, it is very true. It genuinely does help us out in getting you know, the formula, the YouTube algorithm to say, hey, like, people like this, we need to push this to other people that are interested in these types of topics. So subscribe, come back for more, give us a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one, or see you on Twitch. We're Tuesday through Friday, starting about 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and we go anywhere between 4 and 8 hours. So, guys, thank you so much for the love, and good night, good day, good evening. Lots and losses.